Hello and welcome to another episode of Death by Bunjie. The quest for a successor to Bunjie continues. I am home from work, put on some nice comfortable clothes. I'm going to sit here with the laptop this time. Got the laptop and I'm going to sit here and fire that up, and we're going to look at another crossbow that was suggested to me. I confess that I had never heard of this crossbow, and I'm going to look it up. So we are going to that website. It was left in a comment to these other ones. I should look at Gearhead Archery. So we are going to go, and I'm going to type in Gearhead Archery. And it was the X16, I believe, is the one I am supposed to look at. So we'll search for that. Kaboom! It comes right up, X16 series, Gearhead Archery. And we're going to look that up, and here we go. Here's our website. Wow. Wow. Look what I'm seeing here. What on earth are these things? These are crossbows, huh? So that's a crossbow. Interesting. These look like the villains in a Spider-Man movie. That's an interesting design. They look like something that came out of a 3D printer. Interesting. They don't have scopes. I don't know what I'm looking at here. This is different. What are we looking at here? Now, if I scroll down a little bit here, what do we got at the top of the page? Gearhead Archery is the company. Their logo very much resembles their product, if you know what I'm saying. Like, you can see through it. It's kind of pointy and webby looking, I guess is a good word. Is webby a word? So I'm looking down through here, and I am not, when I look at these things, I'm just giving you my honest knee-jerk reaction. Please don't take any offense whatsoever on any of these videos. If I say something that that doesn't sit well with you, you know me better than that. I'm not being too critical here. I'm just trying to make an entertaining video. But I'm giving you my honest reaction, my honest thoughts about what I'm seeing. And in this case, I'm kind of taken aback a little bit about what I'm seeing. Now, we'll look at these two crossbows, but these are not a design that I am familiar with. I've never heard of these before, so I haven't really looked at them before. What I've noticed here, if we look at these, and I don't like how this website is popping things up over my page. Okay, I really don't care for that. But the quick view, all right, I give up. We'll do the quick view. The target bow, the X16 target bow. What's a target bow? I don't know that I want a target bow. I am a crossbow hunter, not a crossbow target shooter. The X16 target was inspired by the competitive nature of the ASA crossbow class. It shoots a nocked arrow. It's easy to cock, lightweight, and perfectly balanced. That's interesting. Select an option. Size. 75/90 or 125. Well, now I think we're figuring out why it's a target bow. If those are draw weights, those are the sizes, or these are the draw weights, then we're looking at 75/90 or 125. So would you like to add our customized crossbow package, which includes a case, which looks like a Plano case? If that's okay, it doesn't seem like it wants to blow up. But for $1,300, you get something you can shoot at a target with. Interesting. I don't know. And $279 extra bucks for the plastic Plano case. And they call that a Spire case. Yeah, it's Plano. It's even got a Plano logo on it. We can see it there. Interesting. There's a scope and quiver. Maybe that's what's included with that customized crossbow package. Yes, it does come with the hawk scope and rings, quiver, and 3 arrows. Sweet. Okay. So for $1,500, you can get yourself a target crossbow. That's not particularly interesting to me. It is the draw weights of 75/90 and 125 pounds. Possible to attach any AR style grip and buttstock to the X16 platform. The AR style grips I am seeing from time to time. That's like a feature that some of these different crossbows offer, is attaching your own grips. I'll talk about that too with other manufacturers. But that, when I looked at these different things here, as I'm looking at these various crossbows that are on the market now, kind of interesting. The X16 Target, Target is the name of their crossbow. That's interesting. So we know which one this is. This is the target bow. We'll see if the other one is the hunting bow, maybe. I don't know. We'll find out. Still shoots a nocked arrow. It's easy to cock, lightweight, perfectly balanced. You told me all that. The Trigger Tech trigger box in this platform has a trigger pull of 2 pounds, 6 ounces. That's a light pull from what I am reading about triggers. I've seen them from, most of them around 3, 2.6, or 2 pounds, 6 ounces rather. That's less than 2.5 pound pull. And I've seen them as high as 3 pounds, 7 ounces, I think, or 3.7 pounds, something like that. Couple that with an arrow rest that can be paper tuned, and this crossbow is ready for the podium. Couple that with an arrow rest that can be paper tuned. They are not trying to sell me a crossbow, because if you're trying to sell me on paper tuning, I shoot a crossbow so that I don't have to do this paper tuning stuff. Life is too short to be paper tuning anything. Power length, the draw weights are the 75, 90, and 125. The power length in inches is 16-inch power stroke. This is like one of those websites that was translated to English by someone, because I've never heard it referred to as power length. I know what they're talking about, but power stroke or draw length, you got to pick one. You don't get, they're not even the same thing, but we need to be talking about this stuff in terms that we are familiar with. And power length, it's like they're combining the draw length with the power stroke. Power stroke is the length of travel for the arrow where the string is attached to it, right? Where the string is pushing that arrow. That's your power stroke. The draw length is actually measured typically from the riser, okay, the end of the riser where the rail starts and meets the riser all the way back. Typically your draw length is going to be longer than your power stroke, okay? They aren't the same thing, and here they're combining draw length with power stroke for a term, power length. If it's a 16-inch power stroke, I get it. Okay. The 18.5-inch or 14.75-inch axle to axle, that's a pretty wide crossbow. And actually, if we look at that, that does look kind of wide. Let's go back to the crossbow picture. That does look pretty wide. And they're rounded limbs. It's like, I don't know, that's different. That's different. Okay. Aluminum weight. The aluminum weight is 6.25 pounds. What's the rest of it weigh? If the aluminum weight, see, who wrote this website? Aluminum weight is 6.25. I think what they're talking about, and someone pointed this out in one of the comments, when they talk about mass weight, the other websites have used the term mass weight. It's the mass weight. Why don't you just say weight? I don't know, but whatever. The mass weight is without the quiver, without the arrows, all that jazz. I think what they're saying, the aluminum weight here is what they're referring to on other websites as mass weight. So in other words, it's the weight of this thing without the arrows and all the add-ons. Speed is up to 350 at 125 with a 325 grain. A 325 grain what? I don't know. It's a 325 grain arrow. I get it. 90 foot-pounds of kinetic energy. That is low. That is very low, but it is a target bow. Okay. All right. Here's our target bow. Ships at 12 pounds. And another picture of it. $1,549. I think, again, that is the full kit. All things included. Now, what do we have that is not a target bow? We have the X16 tactical bow. All right. Well, this one's more expensive. $1,550. Tactical bow. Now, that doesn't scream hunting to me, but we're going to look at it and see what we got here. For $1,549, this crossbow is packable. Ooh, and is of a takedown design. Now that suggests maybe that it's more of a hunting related product because you can take it apart and you can put it in your backpack or take it apart and carry it in your car or whatever you got to do for those hunts that we go on. The X16 Tactical has a precision dovetail joint with a robust clamping mechanism. So you can take it apart and clamp it back together. This is starting to sound like high school shop class all over again. And in my experience, high school shop class, that was not the future career for me, let me just say, okay? Size, 75, 90, and 125. Again, we don't have a draw weight comparable to what we would see in more modern crossbows. Man, there's a lot going on here. Some of these things, I look at them and I'm like, I don't understand the pulleys and the cams and the wheels and the cables and the strings and all the stuff that's going on. This one's kind of different. This one's like, I don't understand what's going on with the frame of the crossbow. I don't understand what all this is. It's all Allen wrench screwed together and you got your limbs mounted on here. We got some, I recognize this for vibration reduction. I understand that. The stirrup, that's a funky looking stirrup. But anyway, our arrow goes through here. Is the arrow on top of Yeah, the arrow, does the arrow go on top of that rail? This is the flight groove, I guess? Yes. That looks to be the flight groove. See, some of the Ravens actually stick the arrow inside a cage like this. This one does not. It puts it right out in the open on top, and that's okay. I don't have a problem with that. It's got a whisker biscuit. Look at that. Now, I get some points for that, for recognizing that, or at least in my mind, that appears to be a whisker biscuit. Okay. This is a crossbow that looks like it wants to be a compound bow. That's what this is. They've got a whisker biscuit on the front, so you're shooting through that. Your arrow has to pass through that. It comes down the rail, okay? It's going to come right down our flight groove here, off our shooting rail, through this little whisker biscuit, which is like brushes. It's like these little fingers, but they're all like hairbrush particles sticking out. And that's going to hold that arrow centered. Because if you look, it's free flying right up here. Once this is cocked and the string is drawn back and in a cocked position, it goes back here like this, okay? You're going to slide the butt of your arrow through here, the main's up in there, and hook that up. And then you're going to put the front of the arrow, lean it through here, through this little notch, and slide it into the middle of this circle, and it's just going to float there. And wow, see, different is not always good. I don't see why that is necessary to have this kind of a design. Here we can mount the scope on here. It's got the Picatinny rail or scope rail, whatever you want to call that. We can hook that up, and this is a weird looking, it's wide open. How does this thing weigh, what did it weigh? 6 pounds. I would hope that it's a durable piece of equipment, given that it's made out of aluminum. I don't like the idea of taking something apart and clamping it back together. I want to point out, looking at these things too, that people are complaining, oh, it's going to take you a whole year or whatever to look at all these crossbows if you're only doing one or two of these reviews a week. Keep in mind, I'm not in any rush. My timeline for replacing Bunjie, it's not really replacing Bunjie. Bunjie will be adorning my wall behind where the camera is here, and then when I sit in here and watch TV, I can look up lovingly at my crossbow. Bunjie is not going anywhere. Not even really even being replaced. It's more of like an addition to the Bunjie family than anything else. But I don't really have to have a new crossbow until summertime so I can start working with it. So I don't have to make a decision until then, because I'm not going to be hunting again until October, September probably at this rate, right? August or September at the earliest. And so I've got months to decide. I don't have to hurry up with this. So hopefully you're getting a kick out of these videos. We got the size. We looked at that drop down. What else we got here? We can look at an option for allow 4 to 6 weeks for custom color and dipping. You can get black, predator brown camo, bright white zombie green, hugger orange, crimson red, pretty pink, or soda can blue. That's pretty cool. So you can get it for $250. You can get your crossbow dipped, and that probably is a really safe process on that aluminum, but it'd make for a good looking crossbow. Well, that's kind of interesting. Add a crossbow package that will supply you with, on this one you get $219 and all you get is the scope and the quiver, or the arrows. So that's kind of cool. We'll see if they got anything new here, what they're telling us. It looks like a lot of the same information, and they've already calculated the 90 foot-pounds, all that jazz for me. So that's interesting. Okay. What else? This is a neat company. Let's go back to their main page, Gearhead Archery, to their home page, and we'll look at that real quick. Wow. Look at that bow. And see, even their bow, their compound bow, has like a kind of a weird looking handle on it where you can put like a pistol grips on it. But those are some neat looking crossbows. Oh, here's a guy shooting it. What is going on here, dude? It puts, okay, we'll read that in a second here. What is this guy doing? What is he doing with his hands? Are you seeing this? Is this the kung fu method of crossbow shooting here? What's with all the left-handed stuff? Have you noticed this guy's shooting left-handed, but that was an issue in the last video too. And I was looking at Bear Archery. I think it was like the left-handed models they were showing you. They're all set up for left-handed shooters. I recognize that they are not left-handed models. They probably can take that quiver off, put it on the other side. But man, for a right-handed guy, most of the world's right-handed. They should be showing me right-handed guy stuff, right? That's just my bias. This is apparently the Expo series. The Gearhead Archery design team pulled out all the stops as they entered the crossbow market. Some of the biggest complaints about the crossbows are the weight, size, difficulty, cocking, noise, vibration, and how quickly the strings and cables burn out. The movie trailer voice aside, you've isolated the problem. Now what are you doing to fix it?
Went a little heavy on the pine tree perfume there, kid.
Sir, it's a taxi cab air freshener.
Great, you've pinpointed it. Step 2 is washing it off.
They started from scratch to engineer the ultimate crossbow to address these issues. Gearhead Archery has applied for multiple patents in developing this futuristic design. We believe when the X16 crossbow series is seen and held, people will understand what we mean when we say Gearhead Archery is rethinking tradition. It's truly a work of art. Okay, work of art or not, that's interesting. You know, I'm more interested in what am I going to be able to kill with this thing. And you're not giving me specs or numbers that are really putting you in the ballpark there for me. The AR style grip and buttstock to the X16 platform. So that's that grip that we're talking about there. And that is an option on either one of these. No more challenging transportation of your crossbow. I've had the world's largest crossbow for a long time, and I have managed to take that to 3 different states and hunt with it and drive all over the place and hunt with it. I am an expert at transporting a crossbow. I appreciate one that you can take apart, but something that I am seeing about newer crossbows is that a lot of them aren't so big that they need to be taken apart. This thing is a pretty big crossbow. Probably not on my list to try, but I will still give it the benefit of the doubt. I go up here to Realtree.com, and we're going right back to our lovely little page, and they're gonna, oh, they almost gave me a chance. It went away. I clicked off of it. Every once in a while I get a chance to win something or a chance to be on their mailing list or what have you. I'm already on their mailing list, so if that's what they're asking for, so be it. This is a 325 grain, right? And 350 feet per second. So we're going with these numbers, and we're gonna see if it mooses, and we might not moose. This might be the first crossbow. Oh, my wife's home, opening the garage doors. Like, what in the world does that sound? Garage is right below me. So we're going to see it. This might be the first crossbow in this session, in this series of videos, that does not moose out of the box. And what does moosing out of the box mean? I actually got a comment on that on a recent video. The moosing, we shall see, is an icon that we're searching for here, right? I want that moose icon on this website, because that signifies a certain level of kinetic energy and a certain level of momentum. The moose icon is kind of unique to this Realtree website. But if I get that moose icon, it gives me a pretty good feeling about this crossbow that says, hey, this thing on its own, without tinkering around with arrows and broadheads and everything else, pretty good chance you're going to be able to hunt any big game animal in North America with this crossbow. And that's what I'm looking for. We're going to hit generate kinetic energy and momentum. Here goes. Kaboom. Your setup, the Gearhead Archery X16, is suitable for nothing. It didn't give me an icon. There's no icon at all. After that build up, after I just gave you that, there's nothing. It doesn't have the icon. Normally in this white space right here, there would be a picture of an animal, right? And if you've been watching these videos, you know what I'm talking about. You'll have to take my word for it. The arrow weight is 325 grains. The arrow speed is 350 feet per second. And the kinetic energy is 88.39 foot-pounds. The momentum is 0.505. Out of the box, this thing does not moose. I'm going to hit refresh. We're going to run these numbers one more time and see if I can get this site to not make a mockery of this whole series of videos like it's trying to do. So I'm going to type in the 325 and the 350. We'll type those in. We'll hit generate it. Generate kinetic energy. And it still is not coming up. I don't know what's wrong with their site. The whole world is broken. That's a fact. Well, anyway. So this one, I don't know about this video. The conclusions I have, yeah, as you know, I'm into tried, true, and tested designs. I'm not so much interested in fancy new designs that might or might not work, that may or may not stand the test of time. I'm looking for more of a tried, true, and tested design for my next crossbow. That's just me, right? This is probably not that crossbow. In fact, it's not that crossbow. I'll just tell you. I'll just come out and say it. Okay, this is not that crossbow. I don't like the looks of that thing. There's too much there that I don't understand, that doesn't look great to me. I don't know why we have whisker biscuits. I don't know a lot of the things about this crossbow. I'm sure they're well thought out. They're made by very good people with the best of intentions of moving crossbows, shooting ahead, moving that further down the road. But I don't see a lot for me as a crossbow hunter who already enjoys a pretty successful crossbow hunting style or method. This is not the crossbow to incorporate in that method. So I will be looking elsewhere. But, and I also apologize to you friends of Bunjie who are watching this and didn't get to see a moose icon. That must just be a glitch on here. So whatever. It wouldn't have moosed anyway. I'm betting with these numbers that we might elk. It might elk. It's like on the cusp, man. I don't know. So it's either whitetail or elk, but it does not moose. So that's not the crossbow for me. Not one that I'm going to be investing in. Certainly not that price, because there's a ton. I look at that Barnett. I would choose the Barnett any day of the week over this. For the same money, you're getting 405 feet per second out of a trusted name in crossbows. I understand Barnett's got customer service issues, and there's, Barnett makes a wide range of crossbows. Some of them aren't as good as others. Totally get all that. But Barnett's, right now, out of the ones I've looked at, Barnett probably is the top of the list of the ones of these videos that I have done, based solely on this information. Again, I'm not in any rush to make any decisions. We're like a quarter of the way through the manufacturers. Got lots of time for these videos, lots of time to go through all of this and come to a decision down the road. So stay with me here, stay tuned on Death by Bunjie, and until next time, all hail Bunjie.